What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Michael Knapp Fishing. Today's video, this is what I've gotten a lot of questions about. Last week's video, I hinted to it. Today, we're gonna get into it. The deep cranking stick, my exact deep crankbait setup. I'm gonna walk you guys through exactly everything that I do to it and how I get the maximum casting distance out of it. So let's go. Alright guys, so this was a popular topic that a lot of people ask me for. My rod's dirty. The deep crank. This is a Jenko CD25. It's very similar to the 10XD that most people are familiar with. I like to use something a little bit different every now and then. But you know, this is a big bait. People want to know, you know, how do you get, you know, what do you throw it with? How do you get it down to its maximum depth? All that jazz. So that's what we're going to get into today. So first and foremost, let's go over the gear. This is a 7'10" old 18 suppressor, and please excuse the fact that it is so dirty because I have worn it out. It's a heavy action moderate rod. This is going to throw up to a 2-ounce crankbait. You know, I have never found a crankbait over 2 ounces that, you know, is a deep diver that we actually throw a lot of. Never had one over 2 ounces. So this is a perfect rod for it. I have 12-pound Suffix Advanced fluorocarbon. Again, I just feel like 12-pound is all around what I enjoy the most. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to give me a little bit of hate for this, and they're going to complain, well, I can't afford that, and I get that. This is just what I use. This is a Shimano Bantam. This is the PG. It is a 5.3 to 1, I think, 5.5 to 1. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's a 5 gear ratio, and that is all I use when it comes to deep cranking. So yes, this is a very expensive reel. You don't have to go with this expensive of a reel. This is just what I like. I got a really good deal on this one. I actually won it in a raffle for $25, so I'm not going to complain. I really enjoy this reel. That's what I like. So as far as baits go, I usually throw the Jenko CD25. I will throw some DT8s and XD8s and XD10s, 10XDs and 8XDs, whatever they're called. You know, the big old baits from Strike King, I'll throw on this rod setup. So same as last time, we're actually gonna fish this just a little bit while we're talking about it. Long casts, you gotta love this rod and reel setup. So the big thing, oh, there's one. Now, what are the chances of that I would catch one first cast? I think that's a drum, though. Yeah, it's not head shaking whatsoever. Oh, it pulled off. Okay. Oh gosh, well, that was exciting. Anyway, whatever we were saying. So when it comes to the deep crankbaits, the rods and everything, and you know how you're going to get them down nice and deep the way you want to. Yeah, there's slime all over. That might have been a catfish. So the number one thing that you want to do when cranking, I see a lot of people, they want to like bend the stick way over here while cranking it down, but you don't want to do that. Point your rod tip right down at your bait in the water. That is going to fatigue you less, and it's actually going to let your reel do all the work, because that's what you want. You want your reel doing all of the work on this. You know, this is a 5 whatever gear ratio. It's designed to pick up this bait and to take all that pressure off of you. So that's what you want to be doing with this bait. Keep your rod pointed directly at the crankbait and just let it wind. Just feel everything that it's bouncing off of down there as it's just clanking around down there. And then once you do get hooked into a fish, as you saw, don't straight jerk up on it. Bugs everywhere. Don't jerk straight up on it, because all you're going to be doing when you jerk straight up, you're going to be putting the back of that crankbait into the top of his mouth instead of the hooks. So you want to just sweep it to the right, and it's actually going to be able to get those hooks right into the side of its mouth a lot better. Sorry, I'm not able to talk when I throw, apparently. So, you know, yet again, when you're setting the hook, I'm gonna do it real quick for you guys. Don't come straight up with it when you're cranking. When you're deep cranking, just sweep to the side, and that will really allow you to be able to drive that hook really well, just like that. Sweep it to the side. Just want to make sure you could see that. And it's going to drive those hooks perfectly for you, and you're not going to have to worry about that fish coming off. So the cool thing about your cranking rods, and this isn't just my cranking rod, this is any cranking rod. Yes, Old 18 is my rod of choice, but I'm never going to say that, you know, none of the other rods are going to do what they're supposed to do. So it's a moderate action rod. And what that means is it bends further back into the rod. So when you lean into it, that fish isn't going to be fighting just the top 10 inches of your rod. It's going to be fighting much further into the back of your rod. Dang it, man, something's slapping at it. It's amazing. I came to the other side of this point and it's actually gotten me 2 bites already. So with the rod being a moderate action the way it is, I'm gonna show it to you real quick. You can actually see it bends way back here. It actually allows that rod to load up a lot better, and it's gonna fight those fish better for you. Now, when I say load up, you're actually gonna see this rod fighting and bending and fighting that fish. I'm gonna get back here a little bit for you. We got a different camera perspective this time, but you can see that rod bends very well. And that's what you want when you're out here cranking, when you're deep cranking especially. You want something that's gonna bend all the way through your rod. And not only is that gonna help you be able to catch those fish, it's also gonna help you cast further. You know, these casts I'm making are about 50-yard casts. Yes, I could throw it further if I needed to, if I wanted to. If I was in a tournament, I probably would get a little bit of a little ump to it, but I'm not in a tournament right now. We're just out here fun fishing. Get off of that rock. We're out here fun fishing, so I'm not gonna get a run and start with it and run the risk of hurting my back or anything. The cool thing about these cranking rods, and this is any cranking rod, any good cranking rod, you know, don't get me wrong, there are cheap cranking rods out there that will still do the job. And if that's all you can afford, by all means, go for it, get it, use it. But if you can afford to get a little bit higher of a grade rod, I highly recommend the Old 18 Suppressor 710, heavy action, moderate. I got a link down there if y'all are interested in it. It's much more sensitive, and you can actually tell, like I just did, when it's a rock versus when it's a fish. I knew that it was a rock because I could feel the way it collided with it. When you get a fish, it's going to be a little bit mushier than that, and the rod is what dictates that sensitivity. You're able to feel the crankbait colliding a lot easier down there, and you can tell if you're colliding into rock. You can tell if you're colliding into wood. You can tell if you're, you know, coming through a little bit of grass or something like that. The sensitivity of your rod is going to help you so much with that. I can't stress that enough, that you need to have a good cranking stick, because this is, the stick makes it all. You know, you can crank with just about any reels. I wouldn't use anything over a 6. I personally only use 5s, but you can do it with just about any reel. Line wise, as long as it's fluorocarbon, you're still going to get the sensitivity. But the rod is the big deal that's going to make everything a lot easier on you. And I promise you guys, if you will save up and get a super sensitive cranking stick, it is going to make a world of a difference for you guys. So as far as the actual retrieve and everything, and how I fish it, you know, majority of the time during the summer, I'm burning this thing. I'm on the bottom, I'm colliding into anything and everything that I can get a hold of. I target rock 95% of the time. I very rarely don't target rock. And you know, that's what you want it to do. Now, if you're out in, like, you know, sandy or shale or something like that, and you don't have like a whole lot of rock, you're going to want to put in like pauses in your bait. So essentially just burn it down, you know, burn it down as hard as you can, get all the way to the bottom, and then kill it. Burn it for a few seconds, kill it. It's just going to give it a little bit of an erratic action that is really going to allow you to get more bites. Because I can't even begin to tell you how many bites I have gotten when that bait collides with a rock and then kind of floats up. That's just something about it, just triggers those bass to eat that thing so much better than on just a straight retrieve. Oh, dang. I'm telling you, something's slapping at them. Probably got some catfish or drum or something down there, or some white bass. But anyway, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Like I said, this was a very high requested video that you all wanted to see my deep cranking setup. I'm gonna try and get this thing up here real quick from the depths and show you one more time. 710 heavy action moderate cranking rod from Old 18, the suppressor, the Shimano Bantam PG. It is a left-handed reel, I know. Go ahead and hate on it all you want. Jenko CD25, 25-foot deep diving crankbait, and 12-pound Sufix Advanced fluorocarbon are my go-tos when it comes to deep cranking. Guys, if y'all like these videos, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave me a comment down in the comment section below. Let me know what videos you want to see next. Next week's video, I think we're going to be going over maybe some buzz baits or something. I can't exactly remember what's next on the schedule, but we have had a lot of requests for stuff. But anyway, comment, like the video, subscribe, turn on your notifications. You never know when there's going to be a Tackle Warehouse gift card coming up. Take care, guys.